Hi, welcome to TQ Talks, where we talk taxes and tax-free living 365. Here are your hosts, Craig White, Sebastian Singh, and Patrick Augustin.
And we're here with another episode of TQ Talks.
And we're happy to be back. It's another year. If you have never been with us before, we are a tax and advisory firm. Our job is to help our clients to reduce the amount of taxes they owe or increase their refunds by using tax planning strategies throughout the year. We also use life insurance to help our clients to create wealth now, that's right now, as well as in the future. With me, of course, we had in the beginning, we hear Mr. Patrick Augustin.
Yeah.
And as always, Mr. Sebastian Singh.
We are here. Thank you guys for joining us as always.
Right.
And let's get right into it.
Right into it. It's 2023. Tax season is here. You guys, listen, if you made it into this year, you should be celebrating, clapping hands, doing something. But it also means that there are changes that the IRS has made. We'll go over good and bad, or at least they're just changes, and you need to know what they are because they will be affecting you some way, somehow, depending on your circumstance. The two we want to tackle today are the child tax credit and the child and dependent care tax credit. These are important because they were adjusted, as Pat and I were talking before, because of inflationary systems, and we want to make sure you understand what has happened now and how it'll affect you as you file your taxes.
The big number is that a lot of people's their refund's gonna be a whole lot smaller.
Yeah.
If everything stays the same,
If
right?
everything stays the same, it's a
from
whole
last year.
3 or 4 more kids. You was getting refunds of $19,000.
Yeah.
In excess of that amount.
Right.
Now things have reverted back to the days before COVID. So
Yep.
So the credits have been reduced, and that's going to affect a lot of our clients because a lot of our clients do have children or are families who have dependents that they take care of. So like Pat just said, if all things are the same, expect that refund to drop a little bit or a lot of it.
a lot of it.
A lot of it.
We need to coin that, a lot of it. So again, this is basic laws of economics, all things being equal, right? That's what we're saying. We don't know all your life story. So again, if everything stays exactly the same, and we're going to run over the numbers aren't important for you to remember, but they're important for us to state because you need to understand how big the dollar bills are, right? So we'll start with the child tax credit. Prior to that, if you guys had kids 5 and under, you were getting $3,600. Now, please back this up, and we're going to get back to it, but you were split. So that is not going to really affect you that much, meaning that half of that money was given to you from July to the end of December, right? Yep. Every month you got some money.
Payments.
And then the difference, the mid-range or half of that, which is what, $1,800, was then applied as the child tax credit on your return. If your kid was 6 through 17, it was $3,000, so you got $1,500 in the first half, and then you got $1,500 on return. The reason that I'm saying it's not a big deal is because that has just been reverted back to the normal $2,000.
Yeah.
Right? So at the end of the day, it really doesn't affect you because half of y'all didn't remember that you got the money throughout
regardless,
the beginning of the year. So when
it was just dropping in.
So when the 18 and the 15 showed up as child tax credit, you were like, okay, cool, whatever.
It's on there, right?
Yeah. The number you want to remember though is that the 2,000 is under the age of 17. Before that, it went up to 17. They allowed that through the pandemic time. So that's 1 year where your kid was getting a little bit more money. And
that's gone now.
Yep, out of the window. That's gone. So again, that one we don't see as a big deal. The other part of the child and dependent care credit, which tax credit, which is the big one, right?
A huge one.
We did the video talking about everybody can qualify for up to $8,000, and we did the math explaining how you got that based on whatever.
$8,000 per child.
Child. Well, and we were saying $8,000 because it gave you literally, depending if you had multiple kids, like when you did the breakdown on the math and how it works percentage-wise, you could actually increase your refund by a literal $8,000. So the money was $8,000 for, you know what? Let's back that up. I think what happens with the child and dependent care credit, everybody forgets the dependent part. The child thing is still there, but if you're a dependent adult, right, meaning an adult that needs someone to take care of, it could be for whatever reason, mental, physical, whatever. If you qualify or if you fall into that person does qualify to get this credit. So
exactly.
Please make sure
you're taking care of your mom, your brother, whatever the case
uncle,
may be,
right?
Grandma,
right. Right. All those qualify. And we've ran into a couple last year that they didn't realize that. And it does qualify.
Sure.
For the kid part, what is it, 13? I think it's 13 and under.
Yeah,
if I
exactly.
remember
For the
that
max,
correct.
yeah.
Right. So last year, again, adjusted for it because of the pandemic, it was up to $8,000, right, for every kid, or $16,000 for 2 or more.
Yep.
And, And again, the dependent care is not just daycare. It's not just
home
daycare.
health aids,
It's
whatever
called
it may
dependent
be.
care for a reason.
Right.
Yep.
It's not called daycare.
Right.
Tax credit.
The reason he's saying that, guys, is because if you were doing something for work and during the normal course of your work time, you had your child involved in something else so that you could work, 9 out of 10, it sort of works. Again, we're not talking about after school soccer or something, but again, if you have study sessions or whatever it is, tutorials, things of that nature at the school or at other places, these things do qualify. Back to the numbers. We went from 8,016 to 3 and 6.
Right.
That's a big drop.
Huge. 10 grand on the back end.
Yeah.
Huge drop.
Huge drop.
So those,
Which was exciting. It was honestly, it was exciting to tell people how much they were going to get back and how much it would help them. And of course, they were excited to see some relief given by the government.
And not only just the excitement, it was just they were just shocked, like unbelievable, like who was getting this kind of refund back,
right,
'Cause
without
it
doing
jumped up
something
so much.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's the part I think it was. And again, I was more shocked because I knew it, but again, seeing it and knowing the IRS, a state of paranoia did come in for me. I'm like, oh my God,
Right.
we're gonna get like 9 million audits. You know what I mean? Because it's just. But they expected it, meaning the IRS was knowing, they knew what it was, and the money was being flown out. Like, here, have it. So again, be on guard. Even if you enjoyed that, and hopefully you put that money to good use, right? If you're our clients, you better put that money to good use. Just know that coming into this tax season, that's not what's going to happen. Again, you're going to be right back to 2019 timeframe, 2020, really, because that's just what it is.
And honestly, that was a long time ago. So a lot of things have changed for most people.
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to reiterate for you guys to be ready, though, because when you hear the numbers, whether it be from your tax preparers here at TQ
Hopefully.
or elsewhere, it's going to be a shock.
Yeah, boo everybody else, by the way.
gonna be
I'm
a
gonna
shock.
go shame on them. I don't care about those people. But
I hear you.
yeah, I mean, again, just be prepared and make sure that you're paying attention to the paperwork, right? Because you still want to keep documentation. We talk
Right.
about all the time. If you put the kid in
Your tax
daycare or
numbers
whatever,
and
right? Get
everything.
the EIN number, get the totals. If they're not giving it to you, you document it. It's not that hard, right?
Right.
And make sure you have the facility information. If not, we always help people to look these things up and try to get that information to them. But
If possible.
be prepared. Again, these two are probably going to be the biggest hits for most people during this tax season. So hopefully this information was good for you guys. Again, as Pat always says, and I'll spit it out,
Be ready.
that's right.
And just call us, guys. We got your back. Don't even worry about it.
Right. And listen, 800-413-1456, please.
You can follow us on all the social media platforms, and as well as following and subscribing to this podcast on all your podcasting platforms as well. TQ Financial Services.
That's right. TQ Talks, baby. Thanks for
sir.
being with us. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you for listening to TQ Talks. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and recommend on iTunes, SoundCloud, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get more information at tqfinancials.com.